Hi everybody, Mark here with Rio Grande Tech Support. Here in this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps necessary to set up your SilverSmith torch. It's very easy to do and shouldn't take any time at all. So one of the first things that you want to do when you're setting up your SilverSmith torch is to check out the tank that you're going to get. This is an Acetylene B size tank. It's a very common size, especially in the jewelry studio or shop. And what you want to do is you want to inspect your tank and make sure it's going to be operating correctly. When you get it, it should have a red cap on there saying that it's filled, and you want to go ahead and remove that red cap by just pulling it off. The next thing you want to do is you want to check the threads on the outlet right here. Make sure they're not bent, they're not clogged or damaged in any way that could cause a leak. Next thing you want to do is you want to check the inside of the valve right here for any dirt or debris. Sometimes soot gets collected in there. So I just take like a paper towel or something and just kind of rub it in there and try not to force anything in there, but just kind of wipe things out type of approach. And I don't know if you can see this, but it has a little black soot in there. That's going to help. That would actually impede the regulator from sealing and actually might cause a leak. So we're going to clean that out real good. So in your kit, you'll have the regulator, which will look like this. And you'll need to put the pressure release valve into the regulator. And you're going to go ahead and thread this onto the outlet here. And it is a regular thread. It'll be righty-tighty. And you just kind of keep turning it until it starts to catch. And then hand screw it on as much as you can. And then eventually it might get a little hard to do. Each tank is a little bit different, so even though, you know, in one tank your regulator went on really easily, the next tank might not. So just keep in mind that each tank's a little different, and you might need to come in here and with a wrench and do the final tightening. So there we go. Okay, so it's getting a little tight right now. And I want to be careful not to over tighten it because that could damage the threads on the regulator and the seat for that. So you want to make it snug, but not really, really tight. And that's pretty good right there. So the next thing what we'll do is we'll hook up the hose. And this will go in here like that. And these have notches in the nuts right here, so that's going to be reverse thread. It's going to be lefty-tighty. Same deal, we're just going to do this by hand until we get to the wrench and do it that way. And there again, just nice and little snug. Don't go in there and really crank it. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and do the same for the handle. It's the same process. You might need to get 2 wrenches if need be, just to hold that. You're not going to really use it to over tighten the nut, but just so you have something to grip onto as you're tightening this one right here. And there again, just nice and snug. Don't over tighten it, okay? And then we'll go ahead and we'll attach our tips. These are really easy to attach. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you inspect your O-rings right here. Make sure they're not damaged. Over time they can wear out and things like that. So take a look at those, make sure they're okay. And then we'll go ahead and just slip that in there. And you got to really kind of pop it in there and just hand tighten that. Okay, so now everything is connected. Now what we want to do is we want to check for leaks. And this is really important, especially with these older tanks, as they've been around the neighborhood a while. So what you want to do is you want to pressurize the system. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a key. This will be like a little key that you use to open these. And before you open the tank, you want to make sure that this pressure release valve right here is nice and loose. Okay, if it's dialed in all the way like that, it'll be nice and it'll be stiff. So you want to back it out until it's loose. Now we want to open the tank, and we'll do it just a quarter turn. Okay. So now we should see that first dial here, That's our gas gauge. That tells us how much gas is in the system, in the tank right here. And this other gauge is going to tell us how much pressure we put in the line. When you're using this torch, you definitely want to use 12 to 14 pounds of pressure. That's what the tips operate at the best at. So you're going to dial this in. And that'll be the red numbers right about there. Okay, now you're good to go. What you want to do is check for leaks, and this is going to be every threaded connection. I can't tell you how many tanks I've had that might leak right here. So we've got a leak detect soap here. And you just kind of swab everything that you connected. And you're looking for any kind of air bubbles forming. You also want to do the handle right here. This looks pretty good. Now, one thing I wanted to mention was that this system does not need nor require a flashback arrestor. You certainly can get one if you like, but it's not required or necessary. A flashback arrestor would go here if you'd want to put one on. So we've pressurized the system, we've tested for leaks, it's all good, no bubbles. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and light our torch. There it is. Okay, so let's say we're soldering and we're done for the day. How are we going to shut down the system? Well, first thing you're going to do is you're going to turn off the torch, just like that, because you're done, right? And what you want to do next is go ahead and close the tank. So we'll turn this back to full closed. And here, you can kind of snug it up. So we're done for the day. We've turned off the torch. We've turned off the tank. The next thing we need to do is bleed the line. So this is the easiest way I know how to do that. Is go ahead and take off the tip, just like that. And when I turn this torch knob, you're going to see both lines here, both gauges drop, okay? Here we go. So the system's completely depressurized. And I just kind of leave this like that. I'll go ahead and put the tip back on so the next day it's all ready for me to go. The very last thing that you want to do is a safety precaution for the next time you operate the tank is make sure that this is backed out all the way to where it's nice and loose. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, you can give us a call at 1-800-545-6566 or visit us online at riogrande.com. Thanks.